So this is something that's very important for people that's in business because it all comes down to sales. I know you're going to talk about sales, right? No matter what you're doing as an entrepreneur, you're selling something. You're either, if you're in a restaurant, you're selling food. If you are in clothing, you're selling clothes items, right? If you are a hairstylist, you're selling your services, which is you're doing people's hair, right? Everything is sales. Everything is sales in business. That's a key component. Now, I do think this is something that I learned because I come from a sales background. When I was in insurance and financial services, I was commission based. So I made a living by selling products, and I got a commission from that product. So if you're in sales, you know that that's a difficult thing to do because your income fluctuates, right? You have a good month, you have a terrible month, but if you don't sell something, you're not going to get paid. But it's important because it teaches you things that entrepreneurs need to learn. So I used to say my goal was to make $100,000 in a year, right? And I used to get frustrated because I wasn't hitting that goal. 24, 25 years old, I was not hitting that goal, right? And there's a book called The 12-Week Year, which I recommend everybody read, right? And when I really started to think about it differently, I changed the way I looked at the perspective. And you spoke about this before, where people, I think, go about it the wrong way by saying that how much money they want to make, right? So they have a goal of making $100,000 a year, right? And then you just broke it down. That's like $8,000 a month, $8,900 a month, something like that, right? And then so let's say that's like $2,200 a week, right? Something like that. So the goal is like, okay, I want to make $2,200 a week. The first mistake that they make is that they're saying that their goal is too big. Now you just explained why you should break that goal down because it's more attainable. $2,200 a week is more attainable than $100,000 a year. But I think that that's still where people go wrong because they're chasing a number. What I realize is that you can't chase a number. You could chase the activity. Activity leads to the number. So in my case, right, when I was selling life insurance, right, you get a commission from the life insurance that you sell. So I can't control how much money I make just going off of numbers because I might get a big policy and I make a lot of money, or I might get a small policy and I make a little bit of money, right? But what I realized is that I did the average of what my average case size was. So like, let's say my average case size was $1,000 commission, right? Then I realized, what am I doing to actually get a client? So there's a few ways how you can get clients. You can cold call, you can canvas. Canvas is like go to different businesses and just pop up. Here's my business card, talk. I wasn't good at cold calling and I wasn't good at canvassing, but I was good at getting referrals. That was my pipeline to get business. I was good at getting referrals. Then I realized that in my system, for every 3 people that I contacted, 1 person I would close, right? So
Yeah.
I realized that the numbers worked in my favor based on activity, not just a number. So what I'm saying is that I realized that in order for me to hit the financial goal, it was based on activity. I needed to get, let's say, 10 referrals every week. Every week I needed to get, let's say, 15 referrals. I needed to get 15 referrals every single week because I knew if I got 15 referrals, then I would close 5 people. If I closed 5 people, that's $5,000.
Yeah.
But that's still not good enough because it's like, well, how are you going to get 15 referrals? So then I have to have a system in place. How am I actually even meeting people? I had a few ways to meet people. I would go to like events and I would try to meet people from there. I would call existing clients, right? I would have my circle of influence. So you put together a project 100 of people that you know, you take them out to lunch. So now I'm breaking it down. I'm saying, okay, I need to get my goal in this situation is to get 15 referrals. But in order for me to get 15 referrals, I have to reach out to 100 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
now the 100 people, I have to get in contact with 100 people every single week for me to hit my goal. Now I break that down. Let's say I'm working 5 days, Monday through Friday. I have to get in front of 20 people, right? I don't physically have to get in front of 20 people, but I got to talk to 20 people. So now I have Tuesday through Wednesday, I'm just calling. That's my call days. So in
Yeah.
that day, I'm gonna talk to 40 people on the calls. You could talk to 40 people in 3 days. That's very realistic, right? Thursday is carved out for in person. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to like 2 different networking events if I can. In New York, I'm gonna go anywhere, Chamber of Commerce, because I gotta meet people on that. And then Friday was my coffee day, where I'm getting in front of old clients, new clients, people that I just went to college with. So what I'm saying is that idea of just making the money wasn't working out for me. But when I realized that the money was a byproduct of the action and the activity, see, I can control the activity. I can't control the outcome, right? I can't control if I'm going to sell you what you're going to buy, but I know if I do enough activity, the odds are in my favor to reach that goal. Now it's like, how much money do I want to make? Because now if I double my activity, I'm going to double my income. It's just a mathematical game at that point. Right now, with doubling the activity comes with me working twice as many hours. So now you have to say, okay, well, is it worth me? Or you can say, how can I do this more efficiently? Can I work with another partner, right, where he can canvas and then we split 50-50? But your volume of activity dictates your volume of income. That's something that I think is vitally important. And you have to track this too. So the 12-week year, the reason why the book is called 12-week year is because they break the year down into 12 weeks, right? So it's much easier to look at it from that standpoint as opposed to just canvassing the whole thing. And then we had systems in place. So every Sunday I track my activity. So you can't just leave it up to hope. You have to take hope and guessing work out of this, right? So it's an activity that I'm tracking. So I'm tracking by hand at that time. I got one referral. I closed one app. I did this. So I got a whole list. And every Sunday I'm looking at it. If I fell short on one of these 3 things, I'm like, okay, this week I got to make up for it. Or why did I fall short this week? You can't let more than a week go by with you having bad habits and not being disciplined to actually meeting that quota. You got to meet that quota, and you have to be diligent and answer to yourself. If you don't have an accountability partner, which is good, but if you don't have an accountability partner, you got to be your own accountability partner. So that book is a very good read because it teaches you how to be extremely disciplined. And like I said, I'm using the example of the life insurance, but you can use that example for anything, right? Any form of business is sales, but never worry about the money, worry about the activity, and the activity will get you to the actual money.